brother?
What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Untamed. Yeah, boy. Coming at you live for another episode of the Man What Podcast. Man, what?
Man.
What?
What's
really going on with y'all, man? I'm here with my favorite co-host, Khalil Jamal. It go down every time we touch this mic. You already know what it is, baby. How you feeling, my boy?
You know what it is. You already know what it is.
How you feeling?
You know what it is. Man, brother, I just spent red on my pink. I just spilled red on my pink.
Okay. Do your thing.
I spilled
You
red.
better get that up.
On my. You remember the dips? You remember the Dipset cartoon?
Yeah. Mr. Fooey Magooey.
Fooey Louie, Fooey Magooey. What I usually do.
You hear the sound of the dip. You hear the sound of the set. I just want to take this time right now to thank all of our new fans. Thank y'all for tuning in. It goes down 2 times a week right here on the Man What Podcast. Y'all make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe right now before we even get into any of the topics today. And just to let you know, this is Gam Gam's favorite podcast. So you make sure you go grab Gam, put us on that big screen,
so
and
she can
sit
see
back
us.
and enjoy the show, little baby. It go down, man. We love y'all.
Yeah, how was your week, brother?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm making so much motherfucking money that I'm just happy.
Give me my money.
Just give me my money.
Hey, look.
Come on.
Look, y'all. I came in here and I killed that trend a couple weeks ago.
That's one of them, bruh.
I've been saying this shit since. Just give me my money.
That's one of them, right? Just give me my money, please.
I need my mom. Please, sir. Please, sir. I need my
but I'm feeling good.
Please,
I'm feeling great. How you feeling, bro?
That's good, bro. Man, I feel great, man. I feel amazing.
That's good to hear.
I feel incredible. I feel healthy. I feel blessed. I feel highly favored. I feel so many just great things, brother. I'm happy to be here. That's good,
man. Yeah, I'm always happy when it's pod time.
Before I start, I see a lot of y'all killing my glasses.
What? They don't like the Batmans? They don't like the Bruce Waynes?
They made fun of my Batmans. They made fun of my fake safety glasses. And I just want to let y'all know.
Why y'all hating on the glasses?
Y'all know. I'm back with another pair, you bitch ass niggas.
He got another pair on y'all boys.
We got another pair on you bitch ass niggas, and I dare you niggas to comment. Anytime y'all say some bullshit and I comment back, y'all never say nothing back. Cause y'all know that
they be scared. You know how people online is, bro. They just want to say they peace and peace out. But it don't work here. It don't work here because we gonna respond.
It don't work like that. Just know, anytime you niggas comment some bullshit, I go to your page and I pray that I find the Instagram or Facebook.
You already know they got 3 followers. You know what I'm saying? They got 2 pictures up there in front of the old Chevy, nigga.
Yeah, you niggas some bitches. Y'all some straight bitches.
That's crazy, but it is true. But anyway. I mean, they was getting on your glasses, but it's all good because you got another pair. Don't let these broke motherfuckers talk that shit. We don't do that on the Man What Podcast. This is a podcast of positivity, and y'all be coming with that negative
positivity and peace.
But it's all good, though.
Positivity and peace.
It's all good, though. We still gonna bring y'all the energy. We still gonna entertain y'all.
Every time.
Shit, I like when they got something to say. You know what I mean? They ain't saying nothing about me though, cause I'm looking like $1 million. I'm looking like $1 million bucks.
Looking like a man.
I ain't never been to that, baby. Hey, there you are.
Yeah.
Stop playing. But anyway, come on, man. Let's get into the program. What's up? What we talking about today?
All right, man. This week in hip hop, man, Travis Scott sells 361K first week off his re-release of Days Before Rodeo, his breakout mixtape. But he comes in at number 2 to the singer Sabrina Carpenter, who sold 362
that is
copies.
Crazy that she sold that much, man. Hey, hey, it is what it is. What I feel like, bro, I feel like nowadays, like, I think I said this a couple of pods ago, man, hip hop is on a decline. You know, life is a roller coaster. You feel me? Life is a roller coaster. And hip hop right now, we on a down spike. Cause them country singers is coming and they making y'all look crazy. Now I'm not gonna lie,
man, look,
300K is crazy for Travis. But he hit him with the bundle.
Off a re-release.
He hit him with the bundles.
Off a re-release.
Off the re-release. That you know what I mean? It is what it is.
That nigga, that album has been in the market for 10 years, bro. So for him to sell 360K first week, that's wildly impressive.
It is, and I'm blown away by that. I knew Travis was definitely gonna sell. Come on, it's Travis Scott. Like I said last pod, he got the Kanye co-sign. He got the merch. He got the shoes. He got the shirts. He got the hats. So and he got the vinyls.
He got machines.
And he got the vinyls. So everything just came full circle, encompassed itself, and it allowed him to sell 300,000 plus copies of something that already came out. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. That's love. That's love. The fans love Travis.
Hell yeah. See, but it goes back to what I was talking about last week when I was talking about how you need to cater to your fans and make them feel like you give a fuck about them. You know what I'm saying? Like Travis, even if Travis isn't releasing music, he's putting his all into product to let his fans know I'm still thinking about y'all. I still rocking with y'all. I'm still fucking with y'all. Like, he never leaves, even if he's not releasing music. That way, when he does release the music, nigga, the fans are hyped and they're ready to hear what the hell he has to say because he never left, but he kept feeding them. You know, and then again, congratulations to Travis for selling nigga damn near 400,000 copies off a re-release.
Ridiculous.
And I mean that number 2 really feel like a number 1 to me because off a re-release, nigga, that's unheard of. That's unheard of. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Sabrina Carpenter. I haven't listened to her album. I'm not really familiar with her music. Maybe the internet will make me familiar within these next couple
Somebody
of weeks.
Familiar with it for her to go number 1, man. And I heard this is her second album.
Number 1 off
her first album did like what 180 or something along those lines. So
so she came back and doubled
up on boys. You feel me? So hey, more power to you. More power to you. We definitely gonna give it a listen. Not like you really need us to listen because you sold 300,000. Who cares if we listen? You know what I mean? Her fans are locked in.
360,000. That means that if we talking streams, she done streamed over 100 million times, bro. Whether we listen or not, she's her.
Oh God.
You feel me?
Oh God. So shout out Sabrina.
You know what
Carpenter.
I'm saying? Like, and does she make country music? Or does she make like
I'm actually music? Not really familiar with her music as much as I should be. You know what I mean? I've never really heard a song from her. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty about music. Like, and this goes to back from our last pod. Like, if you're really locked in with your fans and you're really giving them the music and the just artistry that they really want to hear, man, all you need is your key core fan base. If you can lock with them, it doesn't really matter about anybody else if they listen to you. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of y'all need to build that core fan base. Stop trying to go outside of yourself. You know, it's cool to evolve, but you want to stick to your roots. And I feel like that's what she did because she was able to come, double up. And, you know, I'll give it a listen. That definitely makes me want to listen for her to be able to sell those astronomical numbers and beat out Travis Scott, which I'm pretty sure he felt and he thought that he would get a number 1 album with this. But I think that number 2 is still pretty fucking amazing. You know what I mean? So
nigga, to lose within 1,000 copies.
You know they did something, like that wasn't just organic. Like they did a little something. You know, I feel like on her side, because she signed to a major label, right? Yeah. I just feel like strings were pulled. They didn't want her to get a number 2 album. They really wanted that number 1 album, and I think that that number 1 debut, I think that her label definitely pulled some strings, because for it to be within 1,000, like, you know what I mean? That was like last second. He's gonna sell this. The final numbers are in. Okay, we got 2 minutes. Let's get 1,000 more. You know what I mean? So,
no
but
bullshit.
Shout out to her.
No bullshit.
Definitely amazing.
Yeah, shout out to her. On the flip side of that, the official numbers aren't in, but it's projected that Big Sean's album, Better Me Than You, it sold less than 24K, man. Wow. And that goes to what you were saying. That goes to in the range of album sales that you were talking about. And we were texting yesterday, and you said you had something to say pretty much about this situation. I want to hear what you got to say.
So, like I said last pod, I really predicted this. I predicted that Sean wasn't going to do big numbers. You basically said that he was going to do 60 to 70K. 50 to 70K. You also said that his last album before that sold 100K. And I made the argument then that at that time, when he was able to sell 100K, that Big Sean was a bigger artist. He was more relevant. And I even made the argument to support my claim that he was only going to do 25, 30K, because he's not bigger than a lot of these artists that are only selling that. He's not bigger than Lotto. He's definitely not bigger than Meg. You know what I mean? And I don't know if Sean had...
Meg did more
Exactly.
numbers.
He's not bigger than Meg. That's what I'm saying. So in comparison to the other people to the other hip hop artists that are dropping albums, I'm just looking at Sean. I'm watching his interviews. I'm looking at the engagement. I'm looking at the view count on his interviews, and they're not that good, bro. Like I've seen Charleston White, bro. I've seen Charleston White bust 1 million views in a day, just talking some shit. You know what I mean? So when I heard Big Sean was dropping an album, like I said, I just think like, and then on top of that, you have to look at the fact that Big Sean now is independent, so he doesn't really have that budget. He doesn't really have that push.
Well, he's still Def Jam. He just doesn't have good music behind it for like the Kanye.
Yeah,
stamp.
and just as we see with Travis Scott, that Kanye stamp means a lot when you're talking about music. Kanye West has die-hard, tooth and nail, like to the floor, to the ceiling fans that will support anything that he puts his stamp on. And I think that with Big Sean coming out and basically like, you know, talking about the whole situation with Kanye, basically just reiterating that Kanye doesn't really fuck with him, I think that definitely hurt him. He really maybe should have not spoken on that and just let, you know, the fickle fans really try to come in and boost the numbers. But like I said, as far as him selling 24K, I am not surprised, bro. I'm not surprised. And I listened to the album. I actually had a chance to listen to the album. And what I will say about this one, I grew up listening to Big Sean. I heard his first couple albums, you know what I'm saying? I was definitely a fan back in those days when he was on The Boy and all this other type of stuff. He was rapping different, bro. I feel like this album to him was maybe his most introspective, his most personal album. But
1,000%.
But I feel like that's going away from his base. His key fans don't want to hear that from Big Sean, bro. We grew up for Sean on the high energy records, the party records, the records that really, the club records, the ones that actually get the women shaking ass and you know what I mean? Like he's had so many of those. And by the way, Sean is so successful in music. You know what I mean? I don't know if this If he needed another album to validate, I think that he was just being therapeutic on this album. He was really trying to let us know that his mental health has been worked on. You know what I mean? But like I said, I don't feel like the fans really want to hear that. And honestly, as I listened to it, it was a good album for Big Sean. But in the landscape of hip hop right now, we didn't need that. We didn't need that. It's giving Chance the Rapper. It's giving like real boring. Okay, I'm glad you got your life together, but that's not what we're here for. And it's horrible to say, you know what I mean? Because like I said, this is one of his most introspective albums. But bro, fans didn't want to hear it. Fans didn't want to hear it, and the numbers show that. You know what I mean? The numbers show that the fans did not want that from you, Big Sean. Maybe you should have read the room just a little bit more. I kind of already got the feeling that this is the type of album that he had cooked up, especially when I heard that, Yes, and what's the song called where he was talking about his kid? Exactly. That's my point. I think a lot of us forgot the name of it because it wasn't what we wanted from Sean. You know what I mean? And like I said, maybe this is the time when he said, you know, fuck y'all, I'ma make the music that I want to make. But a lot of times, when you're not reading the room right and reading your fans right, you end up falling short of that mark. I'm pretty sure that Sean wanted to sell more, and I'm pretty sure he thought that this was gonna be the album that sold more. But honestly, can I say it? Can I say it? Big Sean, you flopped, my boy. You flopped. I'm sorry. You flopped. We're used to you doing 100K, 80K. And for you to do less than 24K, brother, that's a flop in my book. Now, much respect to Big Sean. I'm definitely a fan. But this album, Sean, was not it. It wasn't it, my boy. We need some ass-shaking music. We need a club record. We need you know what I mean? Unless it's just something that you don't care about. But if you care about reclaiming that spot where you were almost in the top 3, top 4, top 5. You know what I mean? I didn't get that from this album. I didn't get top 5. I didn't get that, bro. And that's my piece on it. Big Sean, you flopped. I'm sorry. The album was good. It was a good album. It wasn't bad, but it flopped. And that's my piece.
Look. I love the points you made about getting away from your base.
Yeah. It doesn't work all the time.
I think that when you don't have a strong brand identity, a strong brand identity will be put on you by the people. And what I mean by and what I want to get into this, what I mean by that is Sean's most popular songs is Ass, I Don't Fuck With You, Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. And again, it's like you said, these are party records. So when you get to making your introspective album, the album that you want people to kind of like look deep into your eyes and what you've been through, it is a little tough because it's like the guy who's a gangster, right? And I'm not saying Sean's a gangster, but this is just
an example,
a quick little parallel. It's like the guy who's exactly. It's like the guy who's a gangster and he smokes weed and he drinks and he clubs and he parties, and then somehow he gets locked up and then he comes out a Muslim. And he wants everybody to be on his vibe now, his Muslim vibe now. But it's like, yo, while you were away, we were still doing this. We were still partying. We were still smoking. We were still drinking. We were still, living the life that we've been living. Like, and I respect you being on your thing, on your dean, but this is what we're on, and we're not changing that just because you're out. And I think Sean got away from what people saw him as. Like, we're used to Mercy Sean, Click Sean, again, Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay Sean, Ash Sean, Bounce Back Sean, all these songs that were like hit party records. So when you come back with an album that isn't the party records, is just the super introspective records, and I'm not saying the album was bad. I personally still like the album, but I do understand people's critique. And another thing I wanted to kind of critique was that some of the beats on the album sounded really muffled. They sounded really small.
Yeah,
and really
the budget wasn't there. You can tell that he doesn't have the proper, he didn't have on this album the proper budget that he needed. Like, we're used to the big production. We're used to the grade A mastering, grade A mixing. You know what I mean? That you get from a good music, that you get from a big label. And I just didn't feel like that was on this record, bro. It wasn't. Yeah. This is like the cheap version.
I agree.
This is cheap. And that's why it sold. That's like you going to buy something from.
I don't even think it's that, bro. I think it's mainly that it didn't have a record that sold people enough to really care about it. Like, I don't think your average consumer is like sitting there like, oh, the mix on this is bad. They just want a song that they can hold on to. Like, they want something that they could like grab onto. Like, just imagine if he had a I Don't Fuck With You on this album, or a Bounce Back on this album, or a record that we're kind of used to hearing from Sean on this album, the mixing stuff would only be a critique from the music lovers. The average consumer wouldn't really care. They would be like, yo, I love this song so much that I'm going to just keep on listening to this song because I love it that much. I don't think the album has a lot of like songs where you're like, oh, I gotta go back to this. Like, you listen to it and you kind of hear Sean talking about his life, but it's not giving you anything to be like, yo, this is a record I have to listen to. And
exactly,
I'll give Sean some grace. In that I don't think that this was that album for him. I think this album was the album that was really therapeutic, and that he kind of had to get his grief off his chest and all the things that were weighing him down off his chest. So again, selling 24,000 is a big disappointment for an artist like of Sean's caliber, who hasn't really made an album that didn't land outside of the top 10. This album is gonna land outside the top 20. But here's the thing, Sean. I think moving forward, you have to know that you can't take a break for that long again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, it can't be we don't hear from Sean again for 3 or 4 years. I was telling one of my friends, I was saying, yo, I think like Sean is still a very skilled rapper.
For sure.
He still can rap his ass off. But he's gonna have to like really lock in and drop every year for the next couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta kind of bury this, not bury the album, but like let people know, okay, I put my all into this album, but I didn't empty the clip on this album. I got more. So I think what Sean should do, yo, in the next 9 months or whenever the label lets you drop again, you should be right there with another project ready. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be singles you have to do in maybe 6 months, videos you got to do for this album, you got to keep cooking for the next 3 or 4 years. I think Sean has to keep cooking in order to kind of reclaim his spot and where he's at. Because again, I think a lot of times the internet moves so fast, right? That if you're away for a year, 2, 3 years, that's the equivalent to 5 or 6 for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, Like Sean's last album came out in 2020. That's 2 years. That's like 2-3 years after Cardi B's debut has been out. But one could say Cardi is a more active MC than Sean, and he's put out more music technically. You know what I'm saying? Because Sean's not doing the features that he should be doing. He's not popping out all the time. Like, he pops out every now and then. He has this mystique about him. But I think if you're known as the club record guy, mystique is not your friend. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to really be out here. You got to be, finding the next person or building up that next person who's going to be, you know what I'm saying, and attaching yourself to that and really being active in the rap scene. Like, if you just leave for a minute and then you come back on your Dean, I don't think people are gonna take to that very well. It's the same. Look, the same thing happened with Kendrick. Yeah. If you think about it, like Mr. Morale, like he obviously Kendrick sold way more records, but Kendrick's a way bigger artist than Sean. But the way that album was received, Mr. Morale was like, okay, like it's cool, but we don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody, like they're gonna be like, this is boring, or he's trying to be too deep, or why is he talking about this now when his last project was this? It's like, I'm not getting what I've been built up to like from this artist. And I don't think Sean has lost it by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that now you have to kind of go back to the drawing board. You know what you can do without the Kanye support. 25 is not a great number, but it's a number you could start from. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't know that, prior to I Never Liked You, Future's numbers had took a dip. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back to like the Wizard album and the Save Me EP and things like that, Future's numbers had took a dip. But what did he in Beast Mode 2? His numbers took a significant dip. But guess what he did?
Kept working, kept on cooking. Releasing. It's all about consistency in this rap game.
Bro, he kept
another example. Another example of what we're talking about. Let's just take NLE Choppa. A few years ago, he dropped Bryson, right, where he was on a more health. Which was a deep album. It was a more healthy album. It was an album where he was really trying to convey a specific message of positivity, because I feel like, his music was surrounded by a lot of negative forces. It was talking about a lot of negative things. So he tried to shift that, right? Yeah. It flopped. Yeah. Everybody was talking shit about him. Everybody was making fun of him. Did he quit? No. He kept on making music. He got back to what the fans want to hear from him, right? And look at him now. Multiple hits. Yeah. Performing for hundreds of thousands of people at festivals. He's doing sold out shows. You know what I mean? So that's the type of And another thing I was saying to one of my friends, I think Sean is one of the few rappers that could still get a Drake feature. For sure.
I really believe that. I think he's one of the few right now that could still get a Drake feature. And that would do a lot, but I don't think he should run to it yet. Just let it cook. Like, go cook with the Wale's of the world. Go cook with the Meeks of the world. Go cook with some younger artists. Go cook with, you know what I'm saying? Like, go cook with different producers. Go lock back in with Metro. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sean even had a Metro project that was super successful. But again, like, you have to step out of your shell. Like, this album felt like Sean just created his own shell and he was living in it, which is fine. Because I think if, as an artist, you got to do that project that a lot of people don't like, but for you, it's like, yo, that was very therapeutic. I needed that to get to the next stepping stone. And I think that's what this album was for Sean. Based on the album artwork, the name of the artwork, it just sounds like he was just like, the name of the album, he just sounds like he was really locked in on the messaging of this album, which is fine. It's fine. But if you're trying to get back to the space where you're competing, which I know, Sean, you're an Aries, bro. We're competitive motherfuckers. I know you want to get back to that upper echelon of rapping. You know what your number is now. Without Kanye, with the album being leaked like a month or two in advance, without Mike Dean, without Travis, without all these guys that will boost your numbers, you know what your number is. Your number is 25,000. That's fine. Now you go back to the drawing board and see how you can expand that 25. Because think about it. And this is bad. This is low. But if your next album does 50, that's way better than what this did. And then you know you did it on your own too. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to sit around for the Kanye approval. You didn't have to sit around for the industry's approval to drop your shit. Now you know 25, without everybody, 25 is my number. You know what I'm saying? So how do you go back to the drawing board and double that, triple that,
so basically, like, to wrap this up, man, it was a good album, Sean, but get back to your roots. Get back to what we know you for. Get back to what we want to hear from you.
Look, Sean, I'm telling y'all, if Sean go sit with one of these girl rappers, Glorilla, Lotto, Meg, who else? Cash Doll. He's gonna come out with something. That's Sean's bag. Like his first hit was with a female rapper. It was Nicki Minaj with Ass. Bro, go sit with them. Go get with Chris Brown. Return the form, Sean. We love the Deep album. We love it. We love the fact that you were able to express yourself over the course of 21 songs and package it up that way. But we need you to get back to who you are. Sure. Who you've been known for.
Shout out Big Sean, man. Shout out
Sean, man. It's with a heavy heart I say this, man. I didn't want to wait to the end to say this because it's just been such a big topic of discussion today. Yo, man, rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan.
Rest in peace, Big.
Rest in peace, man.
Rich Homie Quan, sorry. Rest in peace, Rich Homie. My nigga, man, us trying to make him some. Ain't no telling it, do for the paper. Ain't no telling. Man, bro, I can't believe that. Actually, I woke up from a nap. Man, and that was the first thing that I seen on my timeline. Actually, I'm lying. You're the one who texted me about it, bro. When you text me that, I'm like, you was like, damn, Big Homie Quan. And I was like, what? Rich Homie Quan? I was like, what happened to him? You was like, R.I.P. I was like, what? I instantly go on social media, and that's the first post that I seen. I seen a picture of Rich Homie, R.I.P. They're saying that they haven't officially put out a statement, but a lot of people are speculating that it's an overdose on fake pills. And I feel like we really need to have a discussion about this because I feel like too many people are dying from these fake drugs, right? And I was on TMZ earlier, and they released the 911 call from his girl. Basically, he had come home from partying that night and didn't make it to the bed. He laid on the couch. I guess he was too inebriated, too messed up, right? So, you know, she sees him in the morning. She puts a blanket on him because she said that he gets a little chilly, and she went and she took her kid to school. When she came back, she checked on him again. She didn't feel him breathing, didn't hear his heartbeat. There was no pulse. And I feel like at that point, she knew that Rich Homie Quan had passed away, which is so sad because Rich Homie Quan was such a legend in this hip-hop community. He's definitely had hits. I feel like over the past couple of years, you know, with the trial going on and people picking sides in the whole fiasco that Rich Homie Quan sort of fell off musically. I don't know if maybe he was going through something mentally, or you know what I mean, but
yeah, he talked about it on Math Hoffa's podcast, where he was basically saying that he was dealing with addiction, and there was like a little blackball going on, so the money for his shows changed. He went from making 40 to 50 to like little 10, 15, and there was certain times where he couldn't move around how he wanted to. On top of that, dealing with his drug addiction, and he was just basically saying that he was finally starting to return. He was finally starting to return back to form, and he was finally starting to get out again. And he definitely started to seem like he was more active. You started seeing Rich Homie a lot more the past year, and I think everybody who loved him back then was still embracing him. As far as
a lot of people were rooting for.
Like, we were like, damn,
a lot.
Yeah, we were happy to see Rich Homie Quan kind of get back out there, because you got to think about it, man. If you were around for that 2013 Rich Gang, 2014 Rich Gang, Rich Homie Quan, Young Thug era, bro, they gave us so many hits in the span of that year. For sure. Like, I can't really name anybody else who had that year on lock other than, like, the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lifestyle, Mamacita, Some Type of Way, Ooh Ooh, Walkthrough. Like, you got to think about it. Flex. Like, you got all these records that Rich Homie and Thug and Rich Gang and all them were putting out that we still play to this day. If you play Lifestyle in a party, it's going up.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I heard it the last party I was at.
Rich Homie had dog, come on now. There's not gonna be a party where you don't hear Lifestyle. So a guy with an amazing talent, and it's just sad to see him go like that, man. Sad to see him go so young at 34 years old. 34 years old is young, y'all. Like, I know a lot of y'all get off by calling people older than y'all unk and stuff like that, but y'all gonna realize when y'all get 30, 31, 32 how young that shit really is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where you really start life. That's where you really get everything put together mentally, and that's when you get into the thick of your career, and that's when you really start to produce in life. So to see somebody dealing with those addictions and dealing with just habitual drug use to go so young is really sad. But I feel like we've seen it over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm getting so sick and tired of it. We really have a big drug problem in the United States. We really do, and I feel like people don't address it enough, because people use drugs to cope, and people use drugs to get over their troubles and their past and stuff like this. But I feel like a lot of rappers really need an intervention. It shouldn't take for you to pass away unexpectedly for people to realize that there's a problem within our community with too much drug use, especially with this fentanyl going around, and especially when we've seen it so many times back to back. Like Rich Homie Quan, not to minimalize it, but is on a list with multiple other rappers, multiple other entertainers who have died because of
1,000%.
Fake drug use. Look at Gangsta Boo. Look at Lil Keed. I mean, the list goes on. You know what I mean? A lot of our legends, a lot of the people that we regard that are at such a good high echelon as far as the music and entertainment industry, they're all dying. We need to stop doing so much drugs. We need to learn how to cope with our troubles and cope with depression. There's other ways. You don't just have to do drugs. Now, I'm not telling people how to live your life. Live it to the fullest, whatever that is for you. But there is a problem. And I feel like we need to address it. We need to address it because I'm so tired of seeing so many people die so young.
And one of the biggest issues is, and one of the biggest factors to this is, a lot of the drugs from pharmaceutical companies are getting discontinued because of the opioid epidemic and stuff like that, right? So this is making people go to their kitchens and attempt to recreate what the pharmaceutical companies have made. Now, here's the thing. Pharmaceutical companies have scientists. They
run tests.
They make these drugs and they run tests. Like, when you're getting these bad pills from something somebody made in their kitchen, they're not scientists. They're not running tests. They're just trying to
get money. That's it. Money. And they don't care about your health. What I'm saying? So, kids, they don't care about your health.
Exactly. So I would prefer you not do drugs at all. I agree. But if you're going to do drugs, if that's your vice, that's your thing, don't buy it from somebody on the street. They have no fucking idea what they're doing.
And they have no idea what's in any of these drugs. A lot of these drugs are cut with baking soda and cleaners and Comet and any white substance. Drywall. Like, you don't really realize what you all are putting into your bodies. I'd prefer the same thing, that you don't even do the drugs. There's other ways to cope with your problems. Drugs are not always the answer. You may feel good at the time, but most people, once they come out of that high, they constantly want to keep on chasing that high because it feels good. But when you're off of it, you see how you really feel. Those are your real feelings. When you're down and you're hurt and people just use it to block. People use it to get away from their problems instead of handling them right then and there. Instead of taking time to actually get to know yourself and cry out for help. Maybe a lot of people feel like nobody's there for them. But what I'm telling you is that these drugs on the street are unforgiving, especially now. We've seen it the past 6 years. So many people have died from this. And we're only talking about people of stature. There's so many other kids, so many other people on the street level that we don't even hear about that are overdosing on pills and coke and all of this other type of stuff. Bro, there are other ways to cope with your problems. Stop doing these drugs. Stop it. Stop it. Learn yourself. Call for help. We don't want to see you. We don't want to come outside and you're laying on the couch and then you just never wake up. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you got too much. Like, you got to think about it like this. Like, Rich Homie had a career and stuff, but even your everyday person, you have so much to live for. You know what I'm saying? Like, it like you're looking at a guy who took a pill, right? And he had a successful rap career. Something that most people who set out to do that don't get. You know what I'm saying? So he was extremely blessed in his journey, but who's to say that in a couple years, if you leave the drugs alone, your journey isn't like maybe it's not a rapper, but let's just say you finish school and you get a great job, or you stay alive 5 more years and you get to see yourself build a family, have a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got to think about it. Like, a lot of the people who are having these overdoses are in their 20s and their 30s. Your parents have to bury you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no parent should ever have to bury their kid. It's such a fucking sad thing. Like, it's you're just too young, man. there's so much life to live. You know what I'm saying? You're in your 20s, you're in your 30s. There's so much life to live. Even in your 40s, there's so much more life to live. You know what I'm saying? So if it's depression, I can't really tell you what to do. I just pray you're careful with what you're doing with these drugs, man, because you're seeing, like Brian said, they're unforgiving. They don't care who you are. They don't care if you have a successful rap career. They don't care if you have a successful politician career. They don't care if you have a kid, don't have a kid, have a wife, have a husband, because you know it's black, white, woman, man. These drugs don't care. All they know is once they get into that system, it's lethal. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, R.I.P. Big Homie Quan.
I just want to say, man, rest in peace, rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan.
Come on, man, that's the big homie. The biggest.
You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Rich Homie, man. And I just wish that we were able to see a 40-year-old Rich Homie Quan, a 45-year-old Rich Homie Quan, a 50-year-old Rich Homie Quan. Maybe one day Thug gets home and somehow they rekindle their relationship and hit the stage and do a lifestyle. We won't get to see that no more, y'all. We won't get to see that. That's out of the question now because of what these drugs have done. And it'll just never sit right, man. It'll never ever sit right, man, because these are people we grew up on, man. These are people who gave us such good times. So to see them go so young is just it's shell shocking, bro. And it's like, damn, man, like he's really gone. Again, like Brian said, a lot of entertainers, not even just rappers, actors,
Enchanting, Big Scar, Lil Peep, like Mac Miller. The list goes on and Mac on Miller. And on. When are we gonna learn?
Yeah.
When is enough enough? When is enough enough?
Yeah. And that's why again, this is an artist who I have the utmost admiration and respect for, Drake. That song you preview with Dirk, it's those type of songs that I feel like are irresponsible for what we're doing right now. I mean, for what's going on right now. Because I don't know if you heard it, but Drake had a song with Dirk that's called "Discontinuing Walk Hard," and he's like, "What seal are we gonna sip now? Like, what seal am I gonna pour now?" And it's like, bro, you know, saying that is gonna make these people start sipping that fake lean, which is in the streets. You know what I'm saying? That shit is very heavy in the streets. Like, a lot of people call it sipping green. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, man, like if people start concocting potions in their kitchens and trying to recreate what that walk hard gave them, then it's just gonna result to more of this. We love Dirk, we love Drake, but it's just certain songs you just gotta be really careful of what you saying in them shits, man, because it inspires people to act and try to recreate that. They know Walk Hard got discontinued. They know Activist got discontinued. They know High Tech is probably gonna get discontinued if it keeps going this way. So they still want to sit because that's the cool thing to do. And the thing is, man, it's just gonna result in more death. Like, and we can't say we care about our brothers. We can't say we care about our people. We can't say we care about each other if we're still encouraging them to do these things that could eventually lead to death. You know what I'm saying? It's just as backwards thinking. And again, I think when your platform is as heavy as a Dirk's, as heavy as a Drake's, you just have to be very, very, very mindful. And again, this song came out before Rich Homie passed, but this is just a lesson to show you why sometimes messaging is so important.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan, man. Definitely left us, so early and too early. You know what I mean?
34, man.
In conclusion, man, y'all be mindful of what you're putting into your bodies, because it does matter. It may feel good at the time, but you may not never wake up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've seen it time and time again. So please stop doing these drugs. You don't need it. You don't need it. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of your bodies. Drink your water. You know what I mean? Work out. Work out is therapeutic as well. Like, foods. You know what I mean? There's other ways to cope and deal with your problems other than burying yourself in drugs. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I think that is where we're going to end this pod. Man, thank y'all so much for sitting up here watching us. You just finished watching another episode of the Man What podcast. Man What? R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan. It's your boy BP Untamed. Yes. I'm here with my favorite co-host, Khalil Jamal. It goes down every single time we touch this mic. Y'all make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe right now. And if you made it this far in the video, you're going to click to the left or the right. It's going to be another video right there. We got plenty of episodes. It's just going to help you, you know what I mean, continue your Man What journey. So y'all stay locked in with us. Y'all stay in tune. Don't do drugs, kids. We out. Peace.